Hello, my name is Raph Wangutusi and welcome to Newsweek. Kenyans have experienced and have witnessed a range of activities starting the week of June 24th. From abductions that started over the weekend and ran through the week, to the mother of all protests witnessed on 25th Tuesday when Parliament was finally occupied. The protest also brought along with it demise, as up to 23 unarmed Kenyans lost their lives, with the youngest being a 5-year-old girl in Kahawa Wendani. Lastly came the president's address as he conceded and withdrew the 2024 financial bill and sent it back to Parliament, while putting a gazette for the Kenya Defence Forces to intervene ahead of the Thursday Occupy State House protests. Now, that's a lot of things that happened. However, we are still on the case of the finance bill. Regardless of it being taken back to Parliament, we'd like to talk a bit more about it. And today I'm joined in studio with Engineer Joel Ojung'a. So first of all, thank you for making time.
Thank you so much, Raph.
And what I'd like us to talk about is this land issue. On Twitter, where we started this interaction from, is there are a lot of people who didn't seem to understand what this law on land is supposed to be about. So first off, how can you easily put it out and we get deeper into it? What is the law about?
Thank you so much, Raph, for the time that you've given me. Actually, the document is so voluminous, and so before I go further, I just want us to have this mentality that, you know, there's usually a saying that goes, the devil is in the details.
Yeah.
So as an amendment bill, what our viewers need to understand is where we're coming from. So let me kickstart by saying that there are 3 critical acts that preceded the amendment. We have the Land Act, we have the Land Registration Act, and we have the National Land Commission Act. All these acts stem from 2012. Before 2012, I believe, you know, to step back further, land is a very emotive issue. So even from the Ndungu report, some of the cases that led to us finding clashes, post-election violence and all that, all of them were stemming from land. So the government came up with a very comprehensive approach towards enacting the Ndungu report that was giving a step-by-step and a detailed approach towards solving the land
issues.
So that is where we're coming with these 3 particular documents that are so robust, that are so, for me, in my own terms, they are not a quick fix. They are for me, they are long-lasting implications to the land issue. So, back to what we have presently. The majority leader moved a motion, and this particular motion was a way of really injecting some amendment to the bill that we have according to the Land Act. So it was trying to amend certain clauses within all those acts. Remember, there are 3 critical ones. But then again, for me, the bill is like summative. So it is particularly amending certain clauses within those acts.
Now, getting into that, there's one specific thing I'd like us to hit right off from here. Is land leasing there? Is this whole issue on land leasing there? Because I feel like guys are really worried, and this is the issue that has been coming up. We have families that have been owning land for generations. And from the information I've personally gotten from reading the content online, is that there is something stating this land will have to be leased. It will no longer be owned. So how can you describe that? Is this the case, and what is land leasing all about?
I think that's a good question. What we need to understand first are the terms. As I said, it's a robust document, so you need to know the wordings are pretty impactful. So not even going to the legal side, it's just an English term.
Yeah.
So to lease means there's a temporary occupancy that one needs to undertake in order to enjoy the benefits of that land for a precise period of time. So and there are two major aspects when it comes to leasing. We have the freehold, and then now we have the one that guys have to pay for it for a specific period of time. So what this bill was trying to come up with and is really bringing an emotive issue, guys, is because there is a conversion of all these freehold to leasehold entities. So maybe something that I need to describe is what is a leasehold. Leasehold. Leasehold is now you are kind of taking temporary occupancy of that particular land. You pay for it for those period of time. The moment it ends, that period ends, then it means either you come up to another agreement with the holder. You have to have a leasehold holder. That means the person owning that particular land. So, but in most cases, it's usually the government that owns some of these prime properties.
Now, well, still on that, I saw that in Nigeria, the period is 100 years. Now, if this 99, so if it's to come to Kenya, has any specific amount of time been specified?
Actually, even before, it has usually been 99 years. Actually, that's the truth. But now, when the government want to convert it to lease all freeholds. Freeholds is like now you back in the village, your mom and dad
with the plot or the
lands that they even don't know how they found themselves there. Then they get these stories that it's my grandfather who owns this particular land. Then the grandfather had a grandfather who was so you cannot kind of trace the original owner of this particular land. So guys have just been living in those pieces of land, and there's a clause in government in the Land Act that also says that if you have occupied this particular land for this specified period of time, then you become the automatic
owner of
that particular land. So indeed they're the owners. But now when the bill is transitioning from you holding that land, and then when you're owning that land, it means all the activities in it, you're the one who has to stage manage everything. Nobody questions you about any form of interest and all that. It's free. That's why we do a freehold. You don't pay for it. So that transition to you paying a specific amount of money prescribed by the act in a cycle, that is what is now bringing the issue. So it was there's a clause 51 actually to be precise, that was negating the fact that all freehold land, and a vast majority of the citizenry have freehold entities. So when you're converting from freehold entities to leasehold entities, what you're trying to imply is you are now telling the owners that this thing is not yours, so you'll be paying for it. Actually, to be more precise, the cycle is going to be 10 years. So that cycle of 10 years, it's now even way low.
Less,
and then for a precise amount of money that is going to be equal to the value of that particular land. So
I get you. That's actually quite disturbing, considering we've talked about 99 years. So 10 years multiply 9 times, that's going to be a lot more money. But the finance bill has been withdrawn. Supposedly because Parliament has not been recalled considering they're in recess.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Do you think this is actually going to happen, or should we wait that after 14 days this thing is actually law?
Okay. First, let me put it clear. I mean, the land amendment bill
is not in the financial bill. Yeah.
But then again, there are financial implications that are going to. There is a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That is going to trickle into the land amendment bill and stuff. But I am made aware that even the what do you call it? The land amendment bill was supposed to be withheld. I saw a document like that online for that the majority leader was going to withdraw that particular bill.
Nice,
So my only question is, it's a wait and see situation.
Okay.
That is my take, because you know they are on recess as we speak.
Yeah.
And it's not an urgent matter.
Yeah.
That can call the attention of all the legislators.
Is it not?
Yes.
It's not.
It's not. I can tell you for a fact.
Considering the level of protest we've witnessed.
You see, the standing orders will still remain standing orders as they are.
Yeah.
And it only takes the intervention of the head of state or the speaker to call it so. Which, as things are, that has not happened.
Did the president not call it so by withdrawing it and saying the parliament should do that?
No, I think that is now going to the legal side. But now, you know, we are just judging things the way things are. There is a clamour for that. I mean, let's treat it as an urgent aspect.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, because of the machinations around the house procedures and statutes that are there.
Yeah.
Any serious, especially, you know, there was that contention of within 14 days in council law and stuff like that. So I think that is what needs to be worked upon, like especially from the speaker. The speaker gave a direction that indeed the house business. Remember, it's starting from the financial planning committee. Yeah. So I think it is that's why I was saying it's a wait and see situation. So let the house finance planning committee go back and sit. So you cannot reconvene the house when the planning committee has not put their things in order. Yeah. Yeah. So that is why they need to put everything in order. If there are any recommendations, the problem is the speaker let it quite open. Yeah. So we are not, as we speak, from what I read, I'm not seeing anywhere where the whole thing was going to be rejected in totality or withdrawal. Yeah. I'm seeing still wordings. You know, as I said, wordings are very important. Yeah. So I'm seeing recommendations, and various aspects, like give an impression of this thing. Either it is still going to be amended, some clauses removed. Yeah. You know, to bring some semblance of fairness. Nice. Yeah. I like that you've brought it that way, because there's something that also stood out for me during the president's press briefing. Yeah. Immediately after he stated that this is the financial bill is being withdrawn. Yes, yes. As he was answering questions, he went back and talked about the housing. You remember? Yes. And throughout the year, this has been an issue. People saying we do not need to pay the housing levy because not everyone needs a house. True. You being someone in construction, being an engineer, being a professional in this area, you will probably see it as an advantage when there is housing and all these funds that should be coming there, right? Then how else, what do you think about this, considering the Kenyans don't seem to want it at all? That's a good question. I think I hold the view that housing is a personal issue, especially being a practitioner in the construction industry. There is nowhere I will have to impose any aspect of housing on my client. So it is him to tell me, guided by his budget, his wants and needs. All these come up front, you know. So I want to look at it this way. The housing issue, number one, let me to be very honest with you, it is negating the fact that I have a free will to choose the kind of house that I want. There are guys who literally do not want multi-story structures. What I mean by multi-story structures, you know, houses that go above one story floor or something. I like my bungalow. I don't need high risers. You know. So I think even as much as the government is still talking about it, worse off is that it started as something voluntary. Then it came to attacks. I mean, we are trying to forget these devils, but they still come back. So I think for me, it may not make me happy because, number one, there are people who wanted to customize their houses the way they want them and then engage my services. But now they think, now the government is offering me a house, so I personally don't see the essence of now going into that investment again, because the government is also taxing me for this. So I think that is why that is one why I think for me it's not an issue to debate now again.
But now professionally, do you see as if this will actually provide the jobs that he seems to say they will?
Actually, that is what I wanted to talk about, the second point. Because I saw the figures. We were talking about 160,000 jobs. What is not specific is
that per county or the whole country?
No, the entire thing.
160,000?
160,000. The entire housing project or the entire housing aspect is employing directly 160,000 youths. The line they want youths. So, from a professional standpoint, this is a multi-billion project. So, if it's a multi-billion project and the problem that is there is not the workforce, I think the problem that, in my view, is, are they being done to standard? Because workforce can be there, but now when the right professionals are not there to back up the entire workforce, I mean, it's not a joy to employ people. Yet, you know, at the end of the day, it may not come out quite clearly or quite professionally at the end. Like, even on a personal level, I'm yet to see anybody that I know who is working in a housing project. Personally, I don't know them. So that is something that I even try to engage the PS housing. And maybe to form part of the consortium to see to it that indeed we are directing this thing to the direction. But I'm still yet to get it.
But now, let's use the example of the expressway.
Yes.
From even just personally, I got to see some people who have practiced in engineering who also got to take part in that. And this seems like it's supposed to function as such an equally sizable project, right? Yet you're saying it's only 160,000 professionals and
not professionals.
Youth.
Entire workforce.
The workforce needed.
I think that should be very clear.
The workforce needed. Yes. But you're questioning the type of quality that will come out of it, right? In your opinion, do you believe that as Kenyans we are qualified enough to produce such good quality out of that work, or should we still go in the route of hiring the Chinese like we did with the expressway, and also bringing other types of other investors and other workforce from other countries?
I think, in short, I believe you're asking me about capacity. We are not incapacitated. And then I always believe in cut your coat according to your size. There are projects that indeed are beyond our scope of doing. From a feasibility point of view. There are the others that we can do. I think this is something that even the Institution of Engineers of Kenya laid out a very robust plan on how the government can tackle this, especially on locally employing local workforce, entities. So I think what should come out quite clearly is let what we can do be within us, within our scope. Let what is beyond us have integration of international contractors or international construction personnel to come and help us to actualize this. Because affordable housing, I believe, is something that we can do. It's not something that is beyond our scope. But just as we were talking about even the finance bill, some of it is going to be affected. Because for example, like clinker. Clinker, the tax has been raised, so it means even prices of basic commodities that are used in construction will have to skyrocket.
What is clinker?
Clinker is the basic raw material that is used for manufacture of cement.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
nowadays it was naturally found. Currently it's artificial. You have to import it. So when you increase excise duty on certain imports, it has to be affected, because currently we had somewhere along the coast where there were natural deposits for clinker, but apparently I think they were depleted. So we now, most of the cement manufacturing companies currently are importing clinker. So when you import, taxes, overhead cost in terms of production.
And is this also affected by the eco levy?
Really and truly. Those are factories, because it's a raw material. So
exactly.
It has to be processed. So the moment it has to be processed, then it means we are talking about energy somewhere. Energy and attract eco levy. So you imagine that is another tax. So those are aspects that really were going to affect the construction industry, because indeed we are critical players as far as the GDP is concerned. So the moment we suffer, the GDP also suffers equally.
Now, based on that arguments that you've put up, is this realistic or is it over ambitious?
What precisely?
In regard to the housing project.
Housing project.
Is it realistic or is it over ambitious?
I think that's a very general perspective. Maybe we can take an aspect in terms of the whole thing.
The creation of employment.
But to be very honest, I'm so concerned about the sustainability, because bearing in mind that this is a project that we need to look at it in terms of the posterity. So if I was to employ 160,000
youths
in that particular phase, I should be concerned about how am I going to retain them. So for example, if you're talking about we call it general maintenance of those particular houses, if it is going to employ also another good number of youths, then we are talking. Because I just don't feel like we need to employ these guys, and the moment it ends,
it's done. Okay.
I'm so concerned about sustainability. I'm also so concerned about their inclusion in terms of maintenance. So if the contractors will have a way of finding a means of employing the same youths, not the same number, because there are a good number of the works. Let us be realistic. A good amount of works will have been completed. But there are a few areas to maintain and all that. Then have them also integrated in the same manner. Then I think that
it can work.
It can work for them.
Nice. Now let's get back to the fact that you've mentioned the eco tax or the eco levy will also affect that. Now, the beginning of the year, we saw the strikes. We saw the doctors going on strike. We saw the teachers going on strike. And at some point, I saw engineers going on strike. At some point, I'm now confirming with you whether the Institution of Engineers of Kenya actually was striking on anything based on the income or the level of income that's being received, or any other issues? Have there been any issues with the institute?
Well, there's a leadership in place in Institutional Engineers of Kenya. Allow me, it was not a strike per se. I will talk about their conversations. Let me call it like that. And conversations can swing either way. They can be, we are registering our displeasure, or we can also be talking about the good things we have achieved as an institutional engineer. So I may not talk on behalf of the leadership, but then again, now just from an engineering point of view, we have registered our displeasure, especially on welfare. Because actually, if you are keen, I was talking about, there was a memorandum that we did to the housing ministry about the inclusion of engineers when it comes to such works. I think we didn't strike. We talked through the memorandum. We registered our displeasure individually and corporately. Because actually the conversation started just in the midst of the doctors striking, that they are professionals like us. Some of them in the civil service are not well remunerated. So indeed, that was also another aspect of conversation that we were to also follow up with. So I think the eco levy, these taxes, the financial times were not directly proportional to the remunerations that we were getting. Especially now when you look at the Financial Times. So I think it's a conversation that came up.
Was a positive conclusion.
It's still, actually, when it comes to civil service, there's a memorandum that IK did to Public Service Commission, especially for engineers within the ranks of the government. So I believe they are acting on it. Or it's at the minister's table. So I believe after in the fullness of time we'll get to know the deliverables that have come out from that.
Okay.
So but just to digress, there are many young, already let me call them youths, within the sector that are also going to bear the implications of the finance bill. That has been the in thing this week. So because the sector wants to thrive, I think it should be a resolution of the government to kind of look at a way of addressing this issue through that, and then many other things will fall in place. I believe that is something that we are so keen on looking at, because the moment you suppress somebody financially, there are a lot of things that are going to spring up.
True.
It's either, if you poorly remunerate, maybe for example a doctor or an engineer, services are going to dwindle. There's the option of opting out of service. That means our job is going to be lost. And the ripple effect is there are other social injustices that are going to spring up. A jobless person will be for me idle. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. So there are other few things that can come here and there, maybe involved in some immoralities and stuff. So I think the elephant in the room now is the financial bill, and it really cuts across different sectors. That for me, it really requires keen address.
Nice. So still now on the finance bill, and away from construction. Clearly you have passions in the digital space. And with the digital space comes guys such as programmers, software engineers, still touches on the engineering part. And still on the finance bill, there were these taxes that were supposed to be introduced, such as the digital taxes.
Monetization.
Exactly. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'll segment my response. I'll segment my response, number one, as a youth, and then number 2 as a practitioner in the field.
Yeah.
The youth in this country, based on how things are going, have carved out a niche for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we have content creators like nobody's business. We have photographers. We have all manner of players.
Yeah.
In the youth segment of the population, or of the demographic. These guys have used the digital space to carve a living for themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this without any contradiction. That they have marshaled all the efforts.
Yeah.
Either by themselves, or even if it's, for example, a loan or something, this guy will have to pay directly.
Yeah.
Without involvement of main players like the government.
Yeah.
I was finding it so unbecoming, to use that word.
Yeah.
To tax somebody who is going out of themselves, a self-initiative,
yeah.
effort 100%, coming up with content, and even to a point of, monetization is not easy. For those monetization entities to monetize you,
especially in Kenya.
Especially in Kenya, you have to cut. It's a cut of another branch. So I think, really and truly, there was no point of taxing these guys any extra. Because there are other aspects that they are paying tax for. For example, a photographer, you'll have to pay tax when you're importing that camera.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
The
tax has already been paid for.
You're
using internet. I mean, to upload your content and stuff.
True. It's also being taxed.
Tax. If you're going to shoot a video in Kajiado County, you'll pay fare, right? You'll have to pay for the tax. There's some tax in that particular fare.
Do you feel like Kenyans are being overburdened by all these taxes based on that?
I mean, it is. Let me jump the gun. Because there is this conversation that is coming up that Kenya is not paying tax, as per the international standard. There are guys who are being taxed, I don't know how much. Come on. Those particular countries that guys are keen to refer us to are not in our level. So you cannot say that in Singapore, in China, they pay this number. No, we are not at that level yet. So let us just cut our coat according to our size. We are a developing country. Even as much as the World Bank and IMF moved us into a middle-income country, I don't know, something like that. I don't know if that is true.
We are still starting.
We are not there. We are not a middle-income country yet. And even if we have kick-started it, we are still at the teething stages. So I believe it is an overburden to us.
Nice.
So that was for me, like, as a youth.
I understand. I get you. And I think that's a very valid point. And a good parting shot, even on that end. It's a very great parting shot. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Engineer Joel Ojung'a. Thank you very much for joining us on this show. This has been Newsweek. My name is Raph Wangutusi, and I'll catch you in the next one.